about why email marketing still destroys everything else when it comes to like effective ways to make money, um, whether it's online or not, right? Just in general, email marketing is awesome. It's the best. Um, and the reason why I want to address this today, I'm going to give you three reasons why. Okay, three reasons why email marketing still destroys everything. I'm going to give you three reasons why. But before I do, I want to give credit where credit's due. Okay, so I have a commenter on my YouTube channel. Like it's been a while, man. It's been a while. I almost forgot what the commenters looked like. Yeah, but Big Evil Das comes through again. My man Evil Das comes through again with another great question on my last video. I did a video a couple days ago. I think it was Friday. I did a video about success leaves clues, but only if you're looking for them. And my man Evil Das, he left a comment on that video. And in that comment, I'll tell you the question he asked. He's asking some great questions. So he says, between government, I printed this out. Between government notices, utilities, and tracking parcels. Now you can go check that video out for the whole comment. Evil Das leaves a longer comment than this, but I've taken the part that is a question and I've kind of I'm paraphrasing here. I'm paraphrasing the question. So between government notices, utilities, and tracking parcels, there are already more than enough emails just to keep up with daily life. And that's not even counting the hundreds we deal with at work. I'd love to hear your take on why email marketing remains effective when most people are already feeling completely overwhelmed by all that digital noise, right? He wants to know why I still think email marketing is the best, even though people are dealing with government notices and utilities and tracking parcels and all the other email spam that they have to deal with. Why is it good? Why is email marketing cool? All right. So that's what I want to talk about today. I want to give three big reasons for Evil Das here and for everybody else listening why I believe that email marketing is still far and away better than most other things, right? Um, so so let me start this out by saying that I didn't start out with email marketing. Okay, I started out my online journey started out in 2011. Okay, I was fired from my job in 2010 in the summer. Went back to school in October of 2010 for business to college, community college, and while I was at college, I learned how to sell. I figured out I could sell my textbooks, right? I figured out I could sell my textbooks on Amazon, and then I could buy my textbooks on Amazon. So I figured out this little system where I didn't have to pay for my college textbooks. I could buy them when the quarter was over, or I could sell them when the quarter was over, as long as I didn't, mess them up or not too rough on the pages or whatever. And then I kind of expanded that and just to sell and use books in general, and I had a pretty nice used book business going. I was selling used books on Amazon. I had a climate controlled storage unit, everything. I was selling used books. Then I wrote an ebook about how to sell used books. When I wrote that ebook about how to sell used books, I spent a couple months writing it. It was called Broke to Boss. And it didn't do as well as I thought it was going to do. It was kind of, kind of like I was getting a few sales a month. It wasn't doing that great. So I thought, man, how could I get more sales on this ebook, man? So I started a YouTube channel. It was called the Zero Fats channel, right? And you know, um, and it worked. I was just committed to making a video a week about how I was getting what I was doing. It was basically color commentary. That's what it was, right? The YouTube channel was just about, hey, I'm just going to talk about what I'm doing on Amazon. That's it. I'm going to do one video a week talking about what I'm doing on Amazon, and in every video I'm going to pitch my ebook. Well, that worked. That worked, and so I figured out my first way to drive traffic on the internet, which was YouTube, which is great. Um, so then I got kind of like annoyed because, I was, giving Amazon, like, I think it was 35%, Amazon KDP, right? Amazon KDP, the ebook part of Amazon. I think I was paying them 35% royalties on my $4.99 ebook. But like, I already knew I was driving the extra traffic with my YouTube channel. So like, I was like, man, why am I giving you guys this money? I'm doing all the work. So what happened was I lost my YouTube channel. The Zero Fats channel got terminated for whatever reason. I have no idea why it got terminated. They didn't tell me. They just suspended my account and I got terminated. Um, so I was like, at that time, I was reading a book called Membership Sites That Make Money. And I was like, I want to make a membership site. I'm going to take my ebook about selling on Amazon and I'm going to, turn it into a membership club. Now listen, let me before I go further, I want you to understand I'm giving you a little bit of the scenic route here of why email marketing is awesome. All right. And the reason I'm doing it this way is because we're on a live stream, right? And man, live streams are all about long form, right? This isn't meant to be a condensed 5-minute video, man. This is a live stream, man. And live streams are all about the scenic route, right? So I'm giving you kind of the long scenic route story of why I believe email marketing still destroys pretty much most other forms of media, if you call it that, media, message to media to market. And we talk about Kennedy's triangle, his triangle, message, media, market. Okay, when we think about media, I think email marketing is still like awesome. It's an awesome form. I'm not saying it's the only way to go, but I think it's one of the best. Still, even though Evildas pointed out something really, really true, he pointed out something really true. It's busy out there. It's noisy, very busy. Why is it still the best? I'm explaining to you right now. I'm giving you a little context about where I come from. So, anyways, so YouTube shut my channel down. Oh man, it sucked when they shut my channel down. I think I had about 2 or 3 thousand subscribers at the time, and I mean at that time, this is back in the day. This is like 2011 or something. I was making like 500 or 700 bucks a month from having 2 or 3 thousand subscribers, just doing a video a week, just from ad revenue on YouTube channels. So it's pretty cool. They shut it down for no reason. Instantly, I lost that revenue and it was a wrap. So I lost my revenue. Um, yeah, they shut me down. Big Mike Searles in the house. Oh, look, side note, everybody who watches this on replay, make sure you get over to Mike Searles Substack. He just interviewed a legend of the game in copywriting. A legend of the game in copywriting. Mike Searles just interviewed him. I'm not even going to tell you who it is, okay? I'm going to leave you in suspense. You got to get over to Mike Searles Substack. Check it out. It's absolutely amazing. Mike's doing big things on a Substack. All right. I've been very impressed with all that Mike's been doing, and it's amazing. This guy, man, I interviewed Mike last year, okay, but Mike, man, you got to follow him on Substack. He's worthy of your follow. He's worthy of your time and attention. Check him out. He's doing great things. So get over there and check him out. So, anyways, yeah, YouTube shut me down. Sorry, I'm getting like off topic. So YouTube shut me down, but I was like, man, you know what? I'm gonna turn this ebook into a membership club, right? So I did. I turned the ebook into a membership club, and I felt like I had a tool in my toolbox now. Like I was all I knew how to do was sell used books on Amazon, and I was like figuring it out. I was just kind of figuring out marketing a little bit. Like I wasn't some kind of great marketer or anything, but I figured out this tool in my toolbox, which was YouTube. I could use YouTube to drive some traffic, right? And so I opened up a membership club called Adventures on the River, and I was just going to talk about how to make money on Amazon. And what did I do? I took my ebook that taught people how to sell used books on Amazon. I made every chapter a video. I made a video for every chapter. So I had the chapter and I had the video right there on one page, and that was a module, right? So my ebook became the foundation of my membership club, right? And then I just decided I was going to do, 5 to 8 pieces of content a month, exclusive pieces of content for my membership club every month. And then I was going to start a new YouTube channel promoting my membership club, right? And I called it Zero Fats Returns. And that's a YouTube channel I still run to this very day. You know, you're probably watching a replay of Zero Fats Returns right here, right now. So, anyways, but yeah, that's what I did, and it worked. It worked, man. It worked. I started driving traffic to my membership club from my YouTube channel, just like I was driving traffic to the ebook before, and it worked. All right, and it worked fine. Um, in fact, that YouTube channel, I still have the YouTube channel, Zero Fast Returns channel. It worked for a while. It worked for a while. Big Mike Cyril's got to go. Thanks for the plug, man. No problem, Mike. Keep rocking, my friend. Keep doing great things. Um, so, anyways, so yes. So what happened was I um I had the membership club, and I was driving traffic with YouTube, and it was great. And for a while, and like while I was doing that, I was learning new things, right? I was learning how to launch products. I was learning how to I was learning how to, kind of like rinse and repeat, as we call it, rinse and repeat, because I figured out, oh, I can do this YouTube channel to membership club thing. And like I have this way to grow a YouTube channel, right? And I used search, right? And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just go watch my last video, Success Leaves Clues. And I kind of detailed out how I grew with search. But uh, the point is, I did grow with search, and I could rinse and repeat the process. So now I had two YouTube channels doing really pretty good, um, and I had two membership club sites doing really good. So okay, I'm getting off topic here. I'm getting out of sorts here. Let me say, I know I left you behind. Let me rewind for a minute. YouTube shut my membership club down. So no. YouTube shut my YouTube channel down, right? I started a membership club, and my book became the foundation of the membership club. I started another YouTube channel called Zero Fats Returns. All right. I started driving traffic to the membership club. All right, cool. That's what I did. All right, fine. I had that going. I was still selling books on Amazon. I was selling ebooks on Amazon. I had another membership club in the health and wellness space. Um, had another membership club in the health and wellness space. I was doing a lot, right? I was doing a lot. Ended up closing that stuff all down in 2006, 2015. I closed it all down. I had too many arms in the fire. And in 2016, I started a new business called Epic Conversions in 2016. It's now 10 years old. Epic Conversions is 10 years old now. But when I started Epic Conversions, I had figured something out. Okay. And this is important. What I'd figured out was, even though I could get traffic with YouTube, and that was pretty cool, what I'd figured out was email marketing was a better way to get traffic. It was a better way to get traffic. Now, this is going to lead me into Evildas's question. I figured out email marketing was a better way to get traffic than YouTube. Now, his question is, why is that still possible? Why does that still matter in today's noisy environment? It's too noisy today. Why does it still matter? Okay, Cam, you said it was a better way in 2016. Well, it's not 2016 anymore, bro. It's 2026. Why does it still matter? I'm going to tell you why. But I got to start by telling you why it's better, why it was better to begin with. Okay, the reason why email marketing, and when I say better, let me be clear, it made me more money. That's why it was better, right? It was better in 2016 because it made me more money than YouTube, right? When I put out a YouTube video promoting something, I got so many sales, right? And it could be good, especially if you consider the fact that the YouTube video stays there for a long time, and it could bring you in trickle in sales for years. For years, it could bring you in trickle in sales. So that's great. And I'm not telling you not to use YouTube. I love YouTube. I think it's awesome. But email marketing is different. Why is email marketing different than YouTube? It's very simple. 2 words: direct response. YouTube is not direct response. When you put out a YouTube video, what happens is you're leaving your fate up to the algorithm. Okay, having a YouTube video is kind of like having a lemonade stand on the side of the road, and you got a sign advertising your lemonade stand, right? You're dependent on people coming to you, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. I heard somebody say many years ago that like sales is like going door to door and asking people to buy something. Marketing is like figuring out how to get all those people to come to you to buy something. And I thought that was profound. I thought that was amazing. And it's true, right? It's true. However, when we talk about the world of, how can I make money fairly quickly and fairly regularly? Um, Sales matters. Sales matters, right? Marketing is great. And I'm not saying that marketing is not good. I love marketing. I love marketing. It's very powerful. However, I don't think sales gets enough attention. Sales is also very powerful. And direct response is very powerful. Email marketing is a form of direct response, and it's a very cheap form of direct response. You understand? So like anybody can build an email list and you can do it for free, right? You can literally do it for free, especially with platforms like Substack right now, where you can just build an email list for free. Anybody can do that. It's completely free. Um, so that's my first point why email marketing still matters today. Why is email marketing still crushing any other form of marketing out there right now? Because it's direct response. And it's one of the cheapest forms of direct response. Most direct responses cost you money. You have to invest money into it, right? Like if I want to do postcard marketing, I got to invest money into that, right? I have to find a list of people. I have to rent a list and kind of segregate that list, find people who I think is going to perform well for me, and then send postcards out to them, right? And that's a viable method, by the way. That's a great way to go with postcards. However, it's going to cost me money. I have to invest. Even might not have to invest a lot, but I still have to invest, right? With email, I don't have to invest, right? Now look, let me ask you a question. Let's say you got lemonade that you want to sell. Do you think you're going to sell more lemonade if you set up a stand on the side of the road with a sign that says lemonade for sale, $1 a cup, right? And you sit there all day until 1,000 cars pass you by? How many cups of lemonade do you think you're going to sell? Well, let me ask you this. Do you think you're going to sell more cups like that? Or do you think you're going to sell more cups if you knock on 1,000 doors and talk to people directly and ask them to buy your lemonade? How do you think you're going to sell more? Now, me personally, I've lived this, so I can tell you, you will sell more going door to door and knocking. All right. So like with direct response, it's like going door to door and knocking, right? So like if I have 1,000 people on my list and I can fire off one email, it's like I just knocked on 1,000 doors all at the same time and offered them all a glass of lemonade at the exact same time, right? A percentage of them are going to buy my lemonade, right? So what's going to happen is that's very powerful. That's direct response. And email is a very cheap form of direct response. So that's the first reason why email still matters in 2026, Avaldas, okay? It still matters because direct response is a very effective way to make money, and it's a very cheap way to make money when we talk about email marketing. Anybody can do that for free. It's a cheap, almost free form of direct response. Now you could also argue, well, what about text messages? Some people do text message marketing, and you're right. You're absolutely right. Some people do practice text message marketing. Now, the reason why I would personally say I put like email marketing above direct response marketing a little bit in 2026. The reason why is because it's easier to acquire someone's email address than it is to acquire their phone number. Okay, that's why. So I believe. So that puts it a little bit ahead of text message marketing. Um, that's what I would say about that. Now, when you think about like why does direct response matter? Like why is it so effective? I mean, you mentioned Evildas that like there's all kinds of noise out there. You know, people are bombarded. There's all kinds of spam in their inbox and stuff like that. It's again, the first thing is direct response, right? Why does direct response matter? Because you are going to the customer, you are going to them. You're not dependent on them coming to you, right? You are reaching out to them and knocking on their door. That is why direct response is still very powerful in 2026. You are going to them. That's the first thing. All right. The second thing, all right. Now, this is something that Dan Kennedy has talked about many times. It's this idea of a annoying pest versus a welcome guest, right? When you are going to them instead of waiting on them to come to you, you are cutting through the noise. You are taking control, and you are putting yourself in their way to see. Now it becomes, what do they think about you? Now it becomes, how do they perceive you, right? So Dan Kennedy, he tells this famous story, he talks about how like, he was working at his house one day, and someone kept on knocking on his door. And, like he was working, he did not want to deal with anyone knocking on his door, right? Someone's knocking on his door, knocking on his door. He's like, maybe he'll go away, doesn't go away. Pretty soon, he's knocking on his back door. This guy has literally went to his backyard. He's knocking on his back door. It's like, what the heck? This guy won't go away. So now he's mad, right? So he goes to his back door. Now, I'm paraphrasing here. This story, I might have it a little bit off, but this is the gist of the story, okay? He goes to his back door. He opens up his door, ready to give this guy hell, right? He's ready to, like, yell at him, like, leave me alone. I don't want to buy anything. Leave me alone. I'm trying to work. That's what he's ready to do. But he opens his door, and the dude says, you go get a bucket, or you go turn on the water. I get the hose. Your property's on fire. There's something here on fire. I think it was his house was on fire or his shed was on fire. Something of his was on fire. His neighbor was just trying to help him put out the fire. And what Dan Kennedy said was, this dude, he went from being an annoying pest to being a welcome guest in like a split second, right? He went from hating this guy, being annoyed at this guy, to being very grateful that this guy was knocking on his door, just like that. And the point that Kennedy was trying to make is that, like, what you want to do, the goal is to go from being an annoying pest in the inbox to being a welcome guest in the inbox. And the way you do that is with good email copy and with good email marketing, right? But the point is, um, the first step is the direct response nature of email. That's the first step. The first step when it comes to the steps of why email marketing is still so effective, because Evildes asked me, why is email marketing still so effective in 2026 when everybody hates all the noise, right? The first step is that it allows me to reach out to you. The first step is that it allows me to actually knock on your door. That's the first step. The second step is to be a welcome guest and not an annoying pest, okay? As Dan Kennedy would say, be a welcome guest, not an annoying pest. You do that with good email copy. You do that with good email marketing, right? I won't go into like how to do that. That's like a scope. That's beyond the scope of this video. But that's what you do. You don't be an annoying pest. So that means, now that you have like acquired the email, right? You have earned the right to knock on these people's door digitally. Knock on their digital door. That's basically what we're talking about. It's direct response. Email marketing is direct response. You've earned the right to digitally knock on their door by acquiring their email. How do you be the welcome guest and not the annoying pest? Okay. Now, don't think that that means just like, oh, give them a bunch of free stuff and only market to them like every third Sunday or every third equinox or whatever, whatever crazy nonsense that people try to tell you. I'm not saying don't sell to these people. It's important that the relationship is clear. Like, if you're in business and you want to make money, the relationship should be clear. right? You are in business to make money. However, that doesn't mean that you cannot provide value to them. That doesn't mean that you have to be the annoying pest. Man, there are ways to let people know you're in business, but also you're a good dude and you want to help them, right? There are ways to be righteous about this. There are ways to do it in a cool way to where people are okay giving you money, right? And that's what I'm saying. So the second step is to be a welcome guest and not an annoying pest. And that's the second reason. That's the second reason why email marketing and email is still super effective in 2026. It allows you the opportunity to control whether or not you're a welcome guest or an annoying pest. It allows you to control that, right? You can't control how someone perceives you on YouTube, right? Even Evildas, he found my video like a couple days back or last week or whatever. And he's like, yeah, man, I don't know, man. You had these low quality videos, and I just I discounted it out. I kind of like misjudged you and stuff like that. I did. And I love that honesty, by the way. That honesty is awesome. That is awesome, man. I love it, man. In 2026, when someone can be real with people and honest with people, man, that is a valuable trait, okay? Because so many people out there are posturing. They're trying to pretend to be something they're not. They're lying. It's ridiculous, right? And AI has made it even worse. AI has made people like the great pretenders of 2026. I mean, I swear it's nuts. So I love the honesty, but the point is, like, I can't really control Evildas's perception of me that easily from YouTube, right? He's watching YouTube videos, and I can't control, who YouTube puts my videos in front of. He's watching my video like it's a TV show, and he's just commenting in my comment section. It's very like passive. It's not interactive. It's not like that with email, okay? So again, the direct response nature of email and the ability for me to control whether or not I am seen as a welcome guest or an annoying pest. That's huge. That's a big deal. I can control how people see me. All right. And what happens is I can build relationships with the people on my email list to where they stay on my email list for years. They will stay on my list for years and years and years and years just because they're used to dealing with me and they like me, right? They like me. So this is very, very powerful. So now all of a sudden you have this email list of customers who just like hanging out on your list. Like you've created this kind of world. You've created this kind of world in the inbox, and they just like being a part of it, right? They're used to it. They're used to how you do things, and they're used to your flavor of emails, and they just kind of hang out there, right? And when they get an email from you, they kind of know it's going to be, your kind of style and your flavor of email, and they signed up for it. They're on board. Now, everybody doesn't stay, but what happens is over the years, you build this large customer database of people who just stay there. And what it does, it will help you extend the life of your customers, okay? So what do we got so far? We got two reasons. So we got the fact that email is direct response, and we got the fact that email allows you to control better whether or not you're the welcome guest or the annoying pest. Okay, what's the third thing? The third thing is very easy. Direct response in email marketing in particular is what they call an IPA. What is an IPA? Because email marketing is a direct IPA versus an indirect IPA. What am I talking about? What's an IPA? An IPA is an income producing activity. Income producing activity. Email marketing is a direct income producing activity. What that means is when you send an email out to your list, you have a direct chance of getting money. You have a direct chance right there. It is a direct line to money. That email that you send out is a direct line to money. As long as there's a link in that email that goes to a sales page, that is a direct line to money. Now, what I tell people is every single day you should be doing some kind of IPA. Some kind of IPA should be happening in your business every single day. Whether that's an income, whether that's an email that you send, whether that's, something else, some kind of IPA, whether that's a video that is directly selling something. If you have a video that's main point is to sell something and you have a link to something for sale in your video, okay, we could call that an IPA. But email, man, email is a direct response IPA, right? You send it right to your customers. You might as well be knocking on their door. You might as well be knocking on the door and asking them to buy something. It is an IPA, and when you stack up IPAs every single day, you are going to win. All right. So email is an IPA. Now, this is interesting, and it ties into what Evalda said about the overwhelm, right? Okay, I'd love to hear why email marketing remains effective when most people are already feeling completely overwhelmed by all the digital noise. Okay, well, that digital noise, that overwhelm, it doesn't just apply to customers. It also applies to business folks. It also applies to the vendors. It applies to everybody. Everybody's dealing with the noise. Everybody's dealing with overwhelm. And what happens is you got indirect IPAs and direct IPAs. So a direct IPA is like an email, right? That has a link to buy something. That is a direct connection to money. Now look, this video that you're watching right now, this is an indirect IPA. It's indirect. What does that mean? What does it mean that it's an indirect IPA? So indirect IPAs are income producing activities, but they are indirect. They don't directly link to money. They're like playing the long game, right? This video right here, this is going to exist on my Facebook, it's going to exist on my Substack, and it's going to exist on my YouTube channel, and it's going to exist on my Spotify as a podcast. And that's great. But the thing about it is, all I'm going to do is talk to you about epicconversions.com and get signed up on my email list. Right? I'm not pitching a product in this video. And even if I did pitch a product, it's not the main point of the video, right? It's not the main point of the video. So that means that's just like a little side note. Like any kind of income producing that this video would do is like a side note. The main point of this video is TOMA, right? Top of mind awareness. TOMA. This video is being put out here to introduce people to my brand. It's being put out here to, elevate my brand awareness, right? Increase my brand equity. This video is just designed to make people aware of me and introduce people into my world. And that's great, but it's not a direct IPA. Okay, it's not a direct income producing activity. Now, the thing is, these indirect IPAs, they're good and they're long game. They're long game, but it can be confusing because people can stack up a bunch of indirect IPAs and they will be doing a bunch of stuff and they're not making any money. And they start feeling very burnt out. They start feeling very burnt out because all the stuff they're doing is indirect IPAs. None of the stuff they're doing directly connects to money today, right now. All right. Well, that's a problem. If you don't have enough direct IPAs happening every day, there's a very good chance you got an imbalance, right? You got an imbalance. There's not enough money coming in. There's too much long game happening and not enough right now game, right? Right now game matters, okay? Right now game matters, all right? Direct IPAs matter. Yes, long game matters too. Yes, it's important to do videos like what I'm doing, where all I'm doing is trying to give some value to people like Evaldas here. He's been amazing because he has actually given me some great questions that I can just riff on. I can just talk about things that I know about. It's amazing. So thank you, Evaldas. Max respect, my friend. But when we talk about this, it's an indirect IPA. This video right here is not a direct income producing activity for me, right? It is an indirect income producing activity. It's a video, it's a piece of content that's probably going to help me put a few people on my email list, okay? And maybe someday they buy something from me. It's designed to, introduce people into my world, right? but it is not a direct IPA. So what I'm telling you is the third reason why email marketing matters today more than a lot of other things is because it is a direct IPA, right? And you should have at least one direct IPA going out every single day, right? Every day you should be taking some action that would be a direct line to money for you. That's what I believe. So for those three reasons, Evildas, in my opinion, man, that is why email marketing is still as relevant today as it was in 2016 when I first started Epic Conversions, right? It mattered then and it matters now. It continues to pay off for me huge. And I believe that everybody out there, including you, my friend, if you want to start an online business and you want to be successful, you want to make email priority. Okay, you want to make email marketing and list building a priority. You got to understand, in the world of direct response, email marketing is one of the cheapest ways to do direct response. I mean, you can start an email list for free. Now, I'll be honest with you, Substack is not the best way to go when it comes to email marketing. Okay, Substack is like a newsletter platform that's trying to become a social media platform. All right, I personally think Substack is more social media than email marketing at this point, personally. But it doesn't matter because Substack will still let you build an email list. They will still let you collect emails. So that's great, and you can do it for free. Now, I think an autoresponder like, Aweber or one of these other platforms. I use Aweber personally. I'm not sitting here recommending them to you or whatever. I'm not doing that. Matter of fact, I'm getting kind of tired of them, but I've been using them for such a long time. I just keep on using them. I've been using Aweber for like, I don't know, 10 plus years. Um, but that is like you want like an autoresponder, like a true ESP autoresponder, to handle your email marketing. If you want to get serious about email marketing, you want to get an autoresponder, and Substack's not going to do that for you. However, if you want to get your feet wet with email marketing, Substack's a great way to do it for free. But email marketing, direct response, lets you take control of being the welcome guest versus the annoying pest, and it is a direct IPA. Those are the three big things about email, and why I continue to champion the email marketing horn after all these years. And again, I didn't start with email. I started with YouTube as a way to like drive traffic, and I realized that email marketing was a far more effective way to control my traffic. Because think about this, man. Like, let's say you publish a video. I published a video on YouTube, right? This one time, and like I was talking about like a software that allowed you to make an ebook very quickly, right? It's like ebook in an hour. I think it was like one of my most biggest videos on YouTube, and I was promoting this piece of software that allowed you to build these ebooks for Amazon. And I kind of combined it with this method of building recipe books because I was explaining to people how recipe books, you cannot copyright recipes, okay? So they are non-copyrightable content. So you can basically put together these recipe books by curating recipes off the internet, and you can use the software to do it very quickly. And that video was very, very, it had like 170,000 views, so it went very well. And I had a link to the software in my description, and of course I made like, I don't know, 14 or 15,000 bucks off of that promotion. And so it was great. It was great for the time, but like I can't control that happening again. I just got lucky from the YouTube algorithm. They just like deemed that video worthy of putting in front of a bunch of people, right? That was it. So I didn't have a lot of control. With email, it's different, right? You got control. You can grow that list. You can control how the people on that list perceive you, and you can kind of cultivate a bunch of people on your list who like what you have to say, right? And that is the goal, right? The goal is to build a group of people who actually care what you have to say and are interested in what you have to sell. You don't want just everybody. You don't just want a big email list. You want a big email list of people who give a crap about what you have to say. And that way, you talk about the white noise, you talk about all the spam and all the noise and overwhelm on the internet. Yeah, but if you're the welcome guest, then people don't consider you part of that spam. They don't consider you part of that noise. they actually want to hear what you have to say, right? So that's what I'm talking about. So again, just to kind of reiterate what we're talking about here, man, email marketing is a very, very cheap form of direct response, and direct response is very effective at making you money quickly. Two, email marketing allows you to control how people see you as the welcome guest versus an annoying pest. And then three, email marketing is an IPA, my friend. It's a direct IPA. It allows you to produce income every single day, right? Directly, direct link to money. Whenever you have a direct link to money, remember, that's different than just something that you're putting out there that might make you money at some point if people join this or if people do that. I'm talking about a direct link to money. Email is a direct link to money. Okay, so that's it, man. I hope that's helpful to you. Everybody else who's watching this video, man, I'm Cam from Epic Conversions. If you want to know more about my business, jump on my email list. Go to epicconversions.com. Go to epicconversions.com and just hop on my email list, man. You can see how I operate in the email inbox. If you like these live streams, if you're catching this on Facebook or if you're catching this on YouTube, but you'd like to show up live sometime, all you got to do is get over to my Substack, camfromepicconversions.substack.com. 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 Just go over, subscribe to my Substack, and you'll see these live streams. One final point of note here. You heard me say I don't think Substack is great for like true email marketing. It's a nice gateway into the world of email marketing, but if you want to be serious about email marketing, that's not the best way. You don't want to stay with just Substack. Why? Okay, Substack, again, I'll just give you, there's a lot of reasons, right? This is probably worthy of its own video, but let me just give you one reason. Substack has a problem with a lot of the emails that you send through Substack going to promotions tab, right? A lot of people have Gmail. Like a lot of people's email is Gmail, right? So because I've subscribed to several people on Substack and they all go to promotions tab. I literally have to take steps so that they don't go to promotions tab. So what I'm saying is there's too many signals out there to ESPs, right? Email service providers. There's too many signals out there to ESPs right now that Substack emails are promotional in nature. All Substack emails are promotional in nature. So you got like pretty much all these Substack emails going to promotions tab. And you know what that means when the email goes to promotions tab? That means a lot of people don't see your email. A lot of people don't see your email. There's ways to combat that, right? There's ways to combat that. And if you want to know more about that, let me know in the comment section. We can talk about it. We can talk about how to combat the bad deliverability of Substack. We can talk about it, but that's beyond the scope of this video, right? I don't want to get too far off topic. So that's beyond the scope of this video, man. But look, back to what we're talking about, man. Email marketing, right? So the question initially was, I'd love to hear your take on why email marketing remains effective when most people are already feeling completely overwhelmed by all that digital noise, right? So I want you to understand one thing. If I give you my opinion, that's fine. It's an opinion. But you know what really matters beyond my opinion? What really matters is that email marketing is still effective. No matter whether I'm right about the reasons it's still effective or not, it is still effective. And that is a fact. I know because I practice email marketing multiple times a week and it makes me money multiple times a week. Okay? It is still effective. Now, whether I'm right about why it's still effective, hey, I don't know. I can only give you my opinion based on my experience. Now, these three reasons I gave you, because it is direct response and it allows me to reach out to my customers instead of waiting on them to reach out to me. That's one reason why it's still effective. Two, it allows me to control whether or not I'm a welcome guest or a annoying pest. It allows me to control that more. All right, that's the second reason it's more effective. And three, it is an income producing activity, a direct income producing activity, and that is why it's still very effective. Those are my opinions. At the bottom line, at the end of the day, my opinions are just my opinions. What you really should take away from this video, and the bottom line truly is that email marketing still works. for whatever reason, whatever the reason why is, it still works if you're doing it right, right? If you're doing it right, and if you're doing it right is very important in 2026 because so many people think they can use AI to write their emails and to do all their email marketing for them. So many people think that they can just use AI as some kind of like Willy Wonka golden ticket cheat code to handle everything for them when they don't know what they're doing. They haven't put the work in. They haven't taken time to study what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing. They're not experts. They haven't practiced their discipline. They haven't. They haven't. They don't know their craft. They're just expecting AI to fix it all for them. Well, that's not working. That's failing for a bunch of people. So yeah, you can definitely do email marketing the wrong way. You can definitely do list building the wrong way. But what I'm saying is, if you do it right and you know what the hell you're doing, for these three reasons, it is still very, very effective. That's what I would say. I hope that answers your question. I'm Cam from Epic Conversions, and I've rambled on enough. I will see you in the inbox. Peace now.